Good morning, Internet. This is the Old Fat Dad, and welcome back to another beautiful day on the Goober Nation gun range. Today, I am super stoked to show you guys something. It might be the coffee that's talking, but I think that it's probably this new ammo by CCI. Let's take a closer look at what makes this stuff so special. This right here is a standard 22 long rifle cartridge. You can see it's just a tiny little guy. Lead round nose bullet at the front there. And to compare it to our new guy, here is the CCI Uppercut. Look at that, it's got copper on it. What's going on? This is the first of its kind, as far as I know. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Jacketed, copper jacketed 22 long rifle round. Now there are regular rounds that have a copper wash. They kind of spray paint like a copper paint on it. This actually, if you look inside there, has the copper forming a real jacket all the way around that bullet. One other thing to note here, and I haven't seen this mentioned anywhere else, this is still a pretty new round. Take a look at those cases. Can you see that the new Uppercut has a longer case? It looks like they built the new Uppercut round on the Stinger case, which, if you don't know already, a Stinger is one of those super fast 22 LR rounds, and it uses a special case that is extra long, which makes it not able to fire in certain guns, but quite a potent round. Finally, let's run over the stats as claimed by the manufacturer. So they designed it for 2.5 to 4 inch barrels. It is a 32 grain bullet, and they say it should be traveling about 950 feet per second out of those short barrels. We are going to test that. I'll run it through the chronograph at some point, let you guys know what the results are, but it's kind of an interesting, also self-defense. Let's see, is it on there? Where does it say? Yeah, there she is, right at the bottom, of course, in big old letters. Supposedly a 22 LR round designed for self-defense. All of these things I am super excited about because this is a unique round. It's got a very niche role according to the manufacturer, and I'm really curious to see how it performs in some tests. So we'll try it on some ballistic modeling clay. We'll run it against our small game simulator. And you know what? I got a couple of coconuts left over, so we'll pop a coconut with our new round as well. And I'm gonna bring back some of the older rounds that have been out for a while and just see how they compare with our new hotness. All right, for our first shot of the CCI Uppercut, we are using our custom-made Heritage Rough Rider, the best $75 I ever spent. We got one of those rounds loaded up in there. All right, I'm gonna quit talking. I'm gonna pull this trigger probably about 6 times before it goes off because I always forget how this thing feeds, and we'll see what kind of damage we are gonna do here. That's a cute little pop. Let's see what we did. Okay, so on the front, we got a ton of unburnt powder sprayed around that hole there. I don't see a giant amount of cavitation inside. It is a little bit chilly out here, and the clay does get a little bit harder, but important thing to note, it didn't go out the back, the sides, or the top, just went straight in. I'm gonna do a little dissecting and see what it looks like on the inside. Here is the entrance. The bullet went in about 3.5, 4 inches back there, turned sideways. Not a whole lot of disruption of our clay. And let me see if I can pull that bullet out for you. We'll see if we got any expansion out of this bad boy. And it looks like 2-inch barrel, 0 expansion. But we get a nice peek at that slug. Nice looking little guy there. But very interesting that we didn't get enough velocity there, it looks like, to get any expansion. So 2-inch barrel, I mean, is it really worth it at this point? Kind of a premium ammo, not really do anything? I don't think so. Didn't do anything special there. Let's bump it up and see out of a longer barrel if we can get some more exciting results. So our little baby Heritage Rough Rider didn't really give us much, but now we're gonna go all the way up to the full-size Taurus TX22. Got 4-inch barrel here, almost double what we got here. Let's see if those 2 inches make a difference. I've been told sometimes 2 inches can be a lot. Okay, same block, same round, bigger gun. That was, I could feel that, felt a lot more energetic, and I can already see not as much unburnt powder on the face of that block. Let's take a closer look. I know it's probably hard for you guys to get a good angle inside of the block through a tiny little hole, but I can already see from my angle that there is a lot more disruption right inside the block. Again, no exits though through the sides or the back. Our little bullet is captured inside. Let's open it up. So again, here is our entrance, and what a difference from the short barrel. We can see right here a lot of initial damage, expansion of the bullet usually causes that ballooning right there, and then way back here we have our bullet kind of buried in there. I'll dig that out here in a second, but I can see that it is expanded and it's looking a lot better than our 2-incher. So let's get down in there and see what she looks like. I don't see as much of that powder everywhere as well. Ooh. Wow, so maybe even overexpanded here. I don't know if we're going to call it overexpanded, but I'll let you see. We shed some of our, I don't know what you want to call them, petals maybe? Let me clean this thing up for you guys. So our bullet did indeed expand and even shed some of those petals, I guess we'll call them, as it was going through there. I think we got almost 5 inches of penetration, so a good 1 inch longer than the 2-inch barrel. And here she is in all her glory. Looks like a very nice little expansion, but maybe just on the edge of uncontrolled expansion where everything's breaking apart. I think the ideal situation might be just to get that expansion without falling apart. So I've got one more barrel length that's in between the full-size Taurus and our 2-inch barrel. Let's see if we can run this one more time and get that beautiful flower that's not falling apart like this guy. All right, so full-size Taurus, maybe a smidge too long for our round here. We also got the compact, as you can see, a little bit shorter barrel there. I think we're losing about 1 inch. Get those lined up. Whoop. Let's see there. So maybe 1 inch, maybe a 1/2 inch off the total length. It seems like every little bit here is making a difference with this round. So this could be our sweet spot here. I'll post the actual length of the barrel. I think it's like 3.5, 3.25, something like that. Let's find out if that is the length to do the trick with our uppercut. One more round of uppercut in our Taurus TX22 compact into our ballistic modeling clay. Okay, again, very good pop. Both of the Tauruses are feeling like there's more energy behind the round than the Rough Rider, which is very interesting to me. Let's check out the damage. Just like before, entrance and no exits. And just like the full size, we don't have a whole lot of unburnt powder. There's a little speckling there, but definitely nowhere near the amount that was coming out of our Heritage Rough Rider. Let's cut this open. Well, I botched the autopsy a little bit with this guy, but I think we can still see the whole story here. Again, here is where we came in. Good bit of initial expansion. Got that little ballooning shape there. And then we're penetrating all the way again, almost to the back, almost exactly the same as that full-sized Taurus here. So not a whole heck of a lot of difference. The thing that I'm noticing though is right at the front and then kind of through this whole trail at this part, we were shedding those petals when we shot it out of the full size, whereas here the round did fall apart a little bit. Let me pull her out for you. But we did not lose those petals throughout. They just kind of fell off at the end. It looks like this bullet just kind of fell apart there right at the end, which, you know, I guess isn't really the worst case scenario there. Expansion still looks pretty nice though. From slowest to fastest, here is our 2-inch barrel. There is the 3 or 4-inch barrel. Again, I'll kind of put those numbers up there. And there is our longest barrel, so TX22 compact, and then TX22 full size. No expansion, of course, over here. And, you know, if I had to choose, I think I like the full size best. In a terribly embarrassing miscalculation on my part, I have managed to get 3 coconuts, but only 2 cans of dog food, which means our 3 contenders right here are not going to be able to enjoy a small game simulator each. What I'll do to make up for that is the coconuts are going to be shot first. We'll see which of our two non-uppercut types of ammo do better, and then we'll take that guy and we'll put him up against small game simulator and see how it compares to the uppercut. Our two contenders are the Federal Punch and Winchester Silvertip. Both of these are advertised as self-defense rounds for the 22 LR. If you see there, I think they are both rated for pistol-sized barrels as well, so I think they are the perfect contenders to go up against our uppercut and see if indeed the jacketed hollow point gives the uppercut an advantage. First round is going to be the Winchester Silvertip, and I am not taking any chances of missing. We are going to go pretty much point blank on this bad boy to make sure we get a good hit. Interesting thing about the Winchester Silvertip is that it is a segmenting self-defense round. Really kind of an interesting concept. I've tested it before. Maybe I'll link the video up here. Let's see how it does on the coconut point blank. Woo! Good pop on that one. Federal Punch ammo. All right, all right. Finally, the new guy on the block. We have got our uppercut locked and loaded. Let's see how she does. All righty. Let's take a look at how we did on our coconuts. First up, the Winchester Silvertip. Clean little neat hole through the front, then out the back. A good bit of damage. Don't see any clear indications of segmenting, but did pop the shell off pretty good and tore up that meat on the inside pretty darn well. Next up is going to be the punch ammo. So this is, I'd say, the self-defense 22 LR ammo that people seem to really love. I've seen a lot of videos and it's pretty effective in all the videos I've seen. Gonna be a tough one to beat. Again, real clean, neat hole in, and I would say a good bit more damage out the backside, and it really did chew up that meat on the inside more than the Winchester Silvertip. That punch ammo really messed up our little coconut. There's cracks all up and down it. Just a solid performer. Gonna be a hard one to beat. Finally, the uppercut. So here we go with our entrance. It's kind of hiding there on you, but there it is right there again. Nice and clean, just like all the others, and kind of disappointing the amount of damage out the back. I don't think that this is even as much as our Winchester Silvertip. A little bit surprising to me. I was really hoping that we'd see a lot more action from this uppercut. Even the outside, the entrance, doesn't show the amount of cracks and damage that we saw with the punch. So, I mean, at this point, if I had to eliminate one to shoot the dog food with, I'd probably eliminate the uppercut. But since we're going to keep the uppercut and maybe give it a chance to redeem itself, we'll keep the uppercut, and I think we'll keep the punch as well. Let's test out those small game simulators. All right, we're going to load up one round of the punch. We'll start with the old guy first before we try out our new contender. One round of punch fired at small game simulator. Here we go. All right, good pop, kind of a high hit. I think it's going to be okay though. CCI Uppercut, all loaded up, ready to taste some dog food. Oh, all right, good little pop there. Let's check out that slow-mo. The results of the small game simulator tests, I think, are pretty darn decisive. We've got the uppercut over here, and then we've got the old standby, our federal punch over here. Both the entrance holes are nothing special. Again, just 22 caliber holes, nice and clean on both of them. On the back side though, we can see a good bit of difference. So here is the uppercut, and honestly, the exit isn't much different than the entrance. Whereas the punch is definitely punching. It is putting big holes through the back of that small game simulator. It might be expansion, it might just be that it's pushing with a lot more speed and energy. Whatever the case, I think it's pretty definitively a win for the punch over the uppercut. Well, at the end of the day, how did our brand spanking new ammo do? I gotta say I'm not super impressed with it. It's awesome to see innovation. I love that this old round, the 22 LR, is still getting love. People are still trying to do new things with it, but I don't know what happened here, but whatever they did with the uppercut, it just wasn't anything special, honestly. Now, good part is it ran flawlessly. So we saw that we ran it through a bunch of different kinds of pistols, ran about 100 rounds, which isn't a huge amount of ammo to test out, but it seemed like it was firing off just fine. Every time I pulled the trigger, it went bang. It was accurate enough for me. I'm not going to say this is some sort of super special match ammo, although we might test that out to see maybe if there are some accuracy benefits of the jacketed round. But I can say that it is reliable up to about 100 rounds, no misfires, no issues, anything like that. Everything worked perfectly. As far as velocity numbers, let's take a peek at that. So, all right, this is the best we're going to get. So through our shortest barrel, there are 3 shots there, and it is 680 feet per second. Very slow. Remember, the manufacturer is claiming, where is she? 950 feet per second. And that's out of 2.5 to 4 inch barrels. Definitely didn't get there with the 2-inch barrel. And I think that the amount of expansion we saw, which was a big 0 out of the revolver, reflects that. When we step it up to our TX22 compact, hopefully you can see that there, it gets us about, what is that, 972, 973 feet per second on average. Much, much better. A little bit over that manufacturer's number, and again, I think that's the sweet spot. It must be around that 900 feet per second where we start to see that good expansion. In the full-size Taurus, really pretty darn close. So that's about 979, 980 feet per second on average. Not a whole heck of a lot of difference between the compact and the full size. Although we did see that bullet open up, I think, a little bit more coming out of that full size. It could have been a fluke. Maybe if we shot 10 rounds, it would have all averaged out. But, you know, for my money, I think that the full-sized pistol is probably the best one to run with the new uppercut ammo. And that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.